The Cosmic Iron God Armor. After Tony Stark absorbed Galactus's power cosmic, everything changed. His body turned silver, his mind expanded beyond limits, and his armor became part of him. He wasn't wearing a machine anymore. He was the machine, a living force powered by the universe itself. The Cosmic Iron God Armor made him something close to omnipotent. With this power, Tony could boost the intelligence of every human on Earth, move through the cosmos in an instant, or reshape reality with a single thought. His armor wasn't just a tool, it was a reflection of creation itself. It merged his flesh and metal into one perfect being. Unlike his earlier suits that borrowed divine strength or mimicked celestial power, this version didn't imitate gods. It made Tony a god. The silver glow, the cosmic hum, the endless energy, everything about it radiated pure divinity. It's the peak of what Iron Man could ever be, both terrifying and awe-inspiring. The Phoenix Killer Armor. Tony Stark has never been afraid of impossible odds, but building something to fight the Phoenix Force was almost madness. The Phoenix Killer Armor wasn't sleek or elegant. It was raw, mechanical, and massive, less of a suit and more of a weapon wrapped around him. Designed to stop a cosmic entity that burns through stars, this armor acted like a gigantic disruptor cannon. During the Avengers vs. X-Men war, Tony used it near the moon to fire directly at the Phoenix. The blast didn't destroy the being, but it split the Phoenix into 5 fragments, something no one else had ever achieved. It wasn't pretty, but it was powerful. A short-lived armor that left a huge mark. Even though the Phoenix survived, the fact that Tony managed to hit it at all proved how far his genius could stretch when pushed to the edge. The Celestial Hulkbuster. Tony had built Hulkbusters before, but never one like this. The Celestial Hulkbuster was made inside the body of a dead Celestial, a hollowed-out god turned into a walking weapon. It was a giant even by Iron Man standards, towering high enough to stare the Hulk in the face without flinching. During the Banner of War storyline, this massive armor let Tony go toe-to-toe with both Hulk and Thor at once. Its power core, armor plating, and sheer size were beyond anything he had ever piloted. Every punch from it shook the battlefield like an earthquake. It didn't last forever. Hulk and Thor eventually tore it apart, but the fact that it stood against them at all says everything. The Celestial Hulkbuster showed just how far Tony would go to fight monsters that even gods feared. Iron Man's Godbuster Armor. When Tony created the digital world known as the Escape, it was meant to be a safe simulation. Then it turned into a prison ruled by artificial gods. To escape, Tony forged the Godbuster, an armor born entirely from his imagination. The Godbuster was enormous, layered with cannons and glowing engines that looked like they could shatter dimensions. Inside the simulation, it wiped out divine AI beings with ease. Tony later built the same armor in real life, but when he realized how unstoppable it was, he shut it down. The Godbuster became one of the few suits Tony himself feared. It wasn't just advanced, it was limitless. A weapon so powerful that even its creator decided the world was safer without it. Iron Man's God Killer Armor, MK2. When the Dark Celestials invaded Earth, Tony had to think bigger than ever before. Using ancient alien blueprints from the aspirants, he built the God Killer Armor MK2, a suit designed specifically to battle cosmic giants. This armor was massive enough to fight Celestials head-on and strong enough to survive their blows. It wasn't just a piece of technology, it was a moving fortress capable of traveling between planets under its own power. For the first time, Iron Man could cross galaxies without a ship. Every inch of it was built for war on a divine scale. Against ordinary enemies, it would have been overkill. Against Celestials, it was just enough. The God Killer MK2 proved that Tony could stand among the gods and not be crushed by their weight. Iron Man's Thorbuster Armor. Tony and Thor have always been allies, but when the God of Thunder's power began to threaten humanity, Stark built something to match it. The Thorbuster Armor was powered by an enchanted Asgardian crystal, filled with the energy of Odin himself. It worked as both a weapon and shield. Every strike from Thor's hammer only charged the armor more, turning his divine attacks into fuel for Iron Man. For the first time, Tony had found a way to fight a god using that god's own power. Eventually, the two reached peace, and Tony surrendered the crystal to Thor. Even he knew no mortal should hold that kind of energy for long. Still, the Thorbuster remains one of his most legendary suits, proof that Iron Man could face a god and not blink. Iron Man's Excalibur Armor. During a strange alliance with Dr. Doom, Tony crossed paths with magic stronger than science. When Doom claimed the sword Excalibur, Stark accidentally bonded his armor with its scabbard, and everything changed. The Excalibur armor glowed with arcane light, and responded to Tony's will like a living spell. It didn't run on technology or reactors, but on pure willpower, letting Tony create energy constructs from imagination alone. Doom explained it best. The armor was powered by Stark's spirit. Whatever he could imagine, he could manifest. It turned Iron Man into something close to a magical Green Lantern, a sorcerer inside a suit of steel. Iron Man's Mysterium Armor. Some suits are known for weapons. This one is known for what it's made of. The Mysterium Armor, Tony's Model 72, was built from Mysterium, the rarest and strongest metal in the Marvel Universe. When a vibranium-based assassin attacked Tony's home, Mysterium didn't bend or crack. It bent the vibranium itself like soft rubber. That moment proved its worth. Nothing else in existence offered that level of protection. In power, the armor stayed similar to Tony's later models. Same flight, same speed, same repulsors. But in durability, it stood above them all. The man once known as Iron Man had finally made something nearly indestructible. Iron Man's Endo-Sim suit. When Tony's morality flipped during the Axis event, his mind turned darker and his armor followed. The Endo-Sim suit was part machine, part living organism, inspired by alien symbiotes like Venom. It bonded directly with Tony's nervous system, reacting faster than thought. The suit could shift shape, change size, and regenerate. It could even withstand lightning from Storm and ignore sonic weapons that usually cripple symbiotes. What made it striking was how personal it looked. The faceplate peeled away to show Tony's real face, his pride on full display. The armor wasn't just technology, it was ego made visible. The Endo-Sim suit remains one of the most dangerous and haunting versions of Iron Man ever built, the moment when genius, vanity, and power finally fused into one. Iron Man's future hologram armor. In an alternate future, Tony Stark built a suit that wasn't really a suit at all. The future hologram armor created an entire virtual city to trap enemies. They fought inside what looked like towering kaiju-sized armor, while the real Tony was hidden far away, safely controlling everything from a distance. The holograms made him untouchable. Enemies would punch, blast, and crash against solid light, completely unaware that the real Iron Man was elsewhere, pulling strings like a master puppeteer. The suit blurred reality itself. For a villain, it wasn't just impossible to beat, it was terrifying. By the time the holograms faded, opponents were left broken and confused. Stark had turned the battlefield into a theater where he alone wrote the rules. The power of perception became a weapon, and in this suit, Tony didn't just fight, he rewrote reality around him. The nanoparticle suit. When Tony handed the Iron Man mantle to Nick Travis, he left him a weapon like no other. The nanoparticle suit was liquid metal armor that could shift in an instant. One moment it gave supersonic flight, the next, Hulkbuster level strength. It wasn't just fast or strong, it could adapt to anything. Nanites hovered around the wearer invisibly until they hardened into whatever the mission demanded. Tanks became armor, missiles became shields, machines became dust with a single touch. The suit could destroy other advanced suits simply by contacting them, neutralizing weapons before they even fired. This wasn't just armor, it was Tony's legacy, condensed into a single, unstoppable form. Nick Travis became Iron Man with the ultimate advantage, and for anyone standing against him, the nanoparticle suit was an unstoppable nightmare. Tony's Ultron Buster Armor. The Ultron Buster looked normal at first, but the horror came from what it became. Its extended limbs and hidden chest weaponry made it deadly, but during its first battle, it fused with Tony himself, turning him into a hybrid of man and machine. The armor was alive. It moved with its own intent. It could strike faster than human reflexes, crush with mechanical force, and survive attacks that would destroy any normal suit. The danger wasn't just in the enemies it could fight, it was in the fact that Tony could no longer separate himself from it. It became a living nightmare, a weapon and a prison at the same time. Few suits have ever blurred the line between man and machine so completely, and its legacy remains one of caution and awe. The Dragon Slayer Armor. The Dragon Slayer looked like fantasy armor, with sweeping shoulders and a knightly helmet, but it was crafted for one mission: fighting symbiotes, Carnage, Venom, Extrembiote. Anything that slithered with alien menace could meet its sonic weaponry and hardlight sword and shield. The armor wasn't the strongest overall, but in its domain, it was unstoppable. Its precision, power, and flexibility let Tony face enemies that could otherwise dissolve metal or tear armor apart. Against symbiotes, it wasn't just effective, it was terrifying. The Dragon Slayer combined beauty and danger, making it a suit that could shine both in battle and on the page. Tony didn't just wear armor here, he became a warrior of legend. Model 51. Prime Model 51, or Model Prime, was a marriage of Tony's best ideas. It took the modular technology of his nanotech suits and combined it with the versatility of his other designs. It could shift from a bracelet to full battle armor, switch stealth systems on and off, or become a powerhouse in moments. Every mission, every threat, every surprise could be met with a single transformation. Its ability to adapt made it perfect for the unpredictable world Tony lived in. The suit didn't just protect him, it gave him endless options and a strategic edge that few enemies could match. Model 51 Prime wasn't flashy, it was smart. It was the perfect tool for the perfect soldier. Sentinel Buster. During World Orcus, Tony faced enemies that had once been allies and technology twisted against him. The Sentinel Buster was his response. Constructed of Mysterium, it had the strength to face Sentinels, massive mutant hunting machines that would overwhelm most heroes. Remote piloting let Tony stay in his Mark 72, while the Buster tore through enemies ahead of him. Its weapon systems were devastating, and even Omega-level mutants struggled to survive its attacks. The design wasn't flawless, the power source was incomplete, but for a short time, it turned Tony's mind and tech into a weapon that even the impossible feared. The Sentinel Buster showed how Iron Man could turn desperation into dominance, even if just briefly. The Fang Foombuster. The Fang Foombuster wasn't subtle. Towering 20 stories high, it was built to face a literal dragon. Tony needed to go big, and the Model 57 delivered. Repulsors, electrical charges, reinforced armor. It had everything necessary to stand toe-to-toe with a world-ending creature. The suit's sheer size made it formidable, but it also made it vulnerable. Fang Foom could rip and tear with little effort, and the Foombuster was never meant to last long. Its impression came from scale and spectacle rather than endurance. Watching Tony fight in it felt like seeing a skyscraper swing its fists. For one brief moment, the impossible felt winnable. The Fang Foombuster left its mark, but it also reminded everyone that size alone couldn't guarantee survival. Hulkbuster. The classic Hulkbuster remains a staple of Tony Stark's collection. Built to stand against the strongest of the strong, it had enhanced strength, shoulder-mounted weapons, and reinforced armor capable of taking repeated hits from the Hulk. It wasn't indestructible, but it allowed Tony to go up against one of the most powerful beings on Earth without folding. Every punch was a gamble, every movement a contest of wills, but the armor did what it was designed to do: give a human a fighting chance against a godlike opponent. The Hulkbuster proved that sometimes the simplest concept, raw strength, smart weapons, and tough plating, could still be terrifyingly effective. Which Iron Man suit blew your mind the most? Got a favorite? Or one you didn't expect to be so powerful? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear your take. And if you're into these insane Iron Man armors, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. See you in the next showdown.